Have you ever felt like you were living in a fog, a heavy, suffocating darkness that you just can't shake? Maybe it was a bad decision you kept repeating, a crushing guilt, or a voice in your head telling you that you were beyond repair. Today, I want to tell you about a woman who knew that darkness better than most. Her story is one of the most powerful in history, not because she was perfect, but because she was rescued. Her name was Mary, but you probably know her by her hometown, Mary Magdalene. Now, history and pop culture have added a lot of layers to her story that are actually in the Bible. We're going to strip all of that away and look at who she really was and why her story matters for anyone who has ever felt broken. The first time we meet Mary, she isn't giving a sermon or leading a movement. She's a case study in total despair. The Gospel of Luke gives us the clinical diagnosis: Mary, called Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had gone out. Let that sink in for a second. 7. In the ancient world, the number 7 often symbolized completeness or fullness. This wasn't just a bad day or a bad mood. This was a complete and total bondage. Her mind, her emotions, her very identity were being crushed by a force she couldn't control. Imagine the isolation. In her culture, people like her were often outcasts, feared, and avoided. She was likely alone, tormented, and living in a darkness so deep that hope seemed like a cruel joke. She was the woman everyone talked about, but no one dared to help. And then she met Jesus. We don't have the details of the actual moment. We don't know if she was brought to him or if she crawled to him in desperation. But we know what happened. With a word, with a look, the one who had authority over everything, even the spiritual realm, simply set her free. Think about the most significant change you've ever experienced in your life. Now multiply it by 1,000. One moment she was possessed, enslaved. The next moment she was free. The fog lifted. The voices were silent. For the first time in possibly years, she saw the sun and felt peace. And this is where Mary's story takes a turn that defines the rest of her life. She didn't just say thank you and go on her merry way. Gratitude like that changes you. It rewires you. The text tells us that she, along with several other women, began to follow Jesus and, get this, to provide for them out of their resources. Mary Magdalene became a financial supporter of Jesus' ministry. This formerly tormented woman was now handling money, managing logistics, and traveling with the group. She went from being the one who needed constant care to being the one who helped take care of others. That's the first big lesson. You aren't saved just to sit there. You're saved to serve. And she stayed. When things were good and crowds were large, Mary was there. But her true character is revealed when everything went horribly wrong. We see her at the cross. While most of the male disciples scattered in fear, hiding behind locked doors, where was Mary? She was there, standing at a distance at first, yes, but she was there. She watched him suffer. She watched him die. She watched them take his body down and place it in a borrowed tomb. She didn't run. Her love was stronger than her fear. And because she stayed, she was chosen for the most incredible moment in history. Early on a Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb to anoint his body. But the stone was rolled away. The tomb was empty. She was distraught, weeping, thinking someone had stolen the body. And then a man she assumed was the gardener spoke to her. "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" Through her tears, she begged him to tell her where the body was. And then the gardener spoke one word, He said her name, Mary. In that single word, she recognized him. It was Jesus, alive, risen. The first person to see the resurrected Christ was not Peter, the leader of the disciples. It wasn't John, the beloved one. It was Mary Magdalene. The woman delivered from 7 demons was given the honor of being the first witness to the greatest miracle in history. Jesus then gave her a job. Go to my brothers and tell them. He sent her to be an apostle to the apostles. The one who was once bound by darkness was now the messenger of the eternal light. Mary Magdalene's story isn't just an ancient tale. It's a blueprint for hope. It tells us that no darkness is too deep for rescue. It tells us that a life of grateful devotion is more powerful than a life of quiet fear. And it tells us that the one who calls you by name sees you, knows you, and trusts you with his message. So, if you're listening and you feel like you're in your own personal darkness today, remember Mary, the same voice that called her out of the grave and spoke her name into the garden is speaking to you, and he's not finished writing your story yet.